And thanks for staying with us on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television, AIT. My name is Mwabo Njok, and as always, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Signature Show this Sunday. Now, in this edition of the Signature Show this Sunday, where are the suspected 400 Boko Haram funders? Defense Counsel closed their case in the prosecution of Evans Chukwudi Onwamadike. Chilling allegation raises the specter of extrajudicial killing. Association of Local Governments, federal government agencies begin the enforcement of the ban on illegal roadblocks. Plus, now look at this. Sultan of Sokoto, Said Abubakar III, says Nigeria is drifting. It is a feast of issues. Just remain with us. It will be time wisely invested. Now, about 3 months ago, the Nigerian police informed Nigerians that a painstaking security effort with sister agencies had led to the arrest of about 400 persons linked to the funding of Nigeria's greatest existential threat, Boko Haram. That success, according to the police, was recorded following useful intelligence from the United Arab Emirates and their cooperation. And many of those arrested from Kano, Maiduguri, Abuja, and Lagos were connected to Bureau de Change network in Nigeria, and funds in excess of 30 billion naira have been channeled into the Boko Haram operations by these individuals. We celebrated the Nigerian security community on this program for that success, because if the source of funds to the insurgents was blocked, then Boko Haram will naturally, progressively wither, wilt, and die. Now, it appears, however, that we were too quick to rule out the drums, because unfortunately, reports now indicate that the Nigerian government is no longer very enthusiastic about prosecuting those suspects. The reports indicate that clan considerations are now overriding national survival interests, and those who should push for the prosecution are waiting for the media to forget the case and move to new challenges, and the case will be made one of Nigeria's cold cases. Our cold cases. Now, talking about our cold cases, last Sunday we asked what was happening to the case of Chukwudi Onwamadike alias Evans. Well, last week the defense closed its case in that matter. But one issue that Evans and the other accused persons raised stuck out like a sore thumb. Naturally, a person accused of a crime that could attract capital punishment does everything to discredit the prosecution. Evans and his co-accused told the court that their confessional statement was written by the police and they signed the document under threat of death. That could be cooked up story, but what bothers me is the manner of the alleged threat. Evans and co alleged that they had been shown the dead bodies of some Nigerians accused and paraded by the police of kidnapping, and told that if they failed to sign the confessional statement, they would go the way of those 3 persons, whom they said the police killed extrajudicially. They gave the names of the 3, Felix Chinemerem, Paul Sanyo, and Chukwuma Nwosu. Did the police ever parade these Nigerians as suspected kidnappers? And so, if they didn't, what are they now? If they did also, what are they now? Can it be true that they were truly executed by the police just like that and life continues? These questions require answers. This is the Signature Show on AIT. We take a break and return very shortly. Please stay with us.
This is signature.tv.org. Breaking the news. Following the news. Analyzing the news. 247 round the clock. All on the go. SignatureTV.org. News in your pocket.
Officer of the law.
Banka, worker. That mean they give 100 naira. Go they tip the money. If I say I'm go come out to head.
If I see person wey eat pension money, I go carry my check for am.
Now, on more than 2 occasions on this program, we have raised the issue of governance by thuggery. Local and state governments engage what they call revenue contractors or task force. These contractors block the highways and make life unbearable for motorists, companies moving goods and services across the country, and impose fines, levies, and other extortions in the name of collecting revenue. The multiple taxation, the extortion across states and local governments make businesses unprofitable and cost of goods and services far above what the ordinary Nigerian can pay. It was therefore heartwarming toward the end of last week when the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, and a number of federal government agencies resolved to begin the enforcement of the ban on illegal roadblocks, collection of illegal levies, fees, and taxes on agricultural products and general goods and services. It is only hoped that this resolve will enjoy the collaboration, cooperation of the state governments who engage these revenue contractors based on political patronage. Isn't it? Well, just last week, Thursday, the Sultan of Sokoto Said Abubakar III said that Nigeria was drifting. The Sultan, who was speaking in Gombe at a peace summit, pointed at hunger and food scarcity as contributing to Nigeria's insecurity. The Sultan is not alone in this alarm he has raised, and this Sunday, our special report focuses on Nigeria's food insecurity as a crisis foretold. Stay with us. This is not a doomsday prophecy. It is not a disrespect to the Nigerian government. It is the confronting of a reality which governments at all levels in Nigeria cannot afford to try forward. The Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, said in Gombe last Thursday that Nigeria was drifting and food scarcity and hunger were fueling insecurity. He warned that hunger was making terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping businesses for survival.
It's uncalled for. As a country like this, Nigeria as a country like this should not entertain such. Do you understand? So I'm not really comfortable with the Nigerian government as a whole.
As I'm concerned, at this particular material time of Buhari's presidency, there's no democracy. You do any critique concerning the president, they handcuff you.
That dismissal of the government by the ordinary Nigerian, which seems to support the position of the Sultan, is not the rejection of the federal government alone. It is the rejection of governance in Nigeria as a failed enterprise that has not met the needs and expectations of a once enthusiastic electorate. From Katsina Motor Park to Kaduna, Mina, Jos, Makurdi, Masaka to Maraba, Shehi Baba draws unprintable reactions from the ordinary Nigerian today. For a government that was swept into power in 2015 on the back of unprecedented popular endorsement, the current indignation by the ordinary Nigerian is worrisome. It will be simplistic to hold one variable accountable for this very angry reaction to a government for which some Nigerians trekked from Lagos to Abuja. One factor, however, seems to be outstanding in fueling the anger of Nigerians. Hunger. From Daura to Adekiti, Maiduguri to Mina, Ebute-Metta, Abuja to Abakaliki, Nigerians are hungry, very hungry. Unfortunately, the latest update by the Famine Early Warning System Network on Nigeria's food security outlook is not cheering. The report, which captures Nigeria's food security outlook up to September 2021, predicts that many more Nigerians will be unable to access food for their families and may have to depend more on humanitarian assistance.
Already there is a famine already in the land, because to feed now, family of 7 to feed, it takes only grace of God. Then to feed, most of my neighbors, all they drank in the night is only get carried. And many people are suffering. Nigeria have no price control. Every day it increases, and not their fault.
The network predicts increase in insurgency activities across Nigeria's northwest, north central, and southern states. In consequence of the displacement that will follow on these attacks, many displaced Nigerians will not be able to undertake productive farming. As the situation is, according to the network, many families, especially in the affected northern states, are selling off their livestock to buy food to prevent the animals being taken away by either insurgents, rustlers, or even those engaged in wholesale destruction of communities.
The increase in prices of food items in the market these days, it is not surprising because of the issue of insecurity in the country, especially in the north, and then the farmer that are supposed to go into this very activity, they are being on daily basis in their farms.
Government now needs to provide adequate security. People have been asking the government to see how they can encourage state policing. If community can come up with few persons, able men, to police the farm tracks, so that we can ward off these criminals who go there to kill farmers.
The situation, according to the Famine Early Warning Systems Network, is compounded by rising unemployment, which is denying family members the income which their qualified members would have earned if such persons were to be employed. This, in turn, reduces the resources available to a number of families to buy food from the open market. To make things worse, inflation, which stands at about 18.7%, is making a nonsense of the limited income of many Nigerians.
Everywhere, 1 quarter of yam, they are calling 150, 120, very small yam. Everything is going high, as if we are scattered in this country. I don't know.
Like now, before we are selling beans, 800. Now it's 1,000 naira, 1,001. Everything, price of things are too high.
One of the reasons for the mass anger in Nigeria is apparent. The people are hungry, and food is becoming unaffordable to many. But is the situation inevitable? And can the Nigerian government address and redress the looming food shortage, which is creating frightful food insecurity that could recruit the masses against their own government? The Sultan says Nigeria is drifting. Must the nation drift because of hunger among the population?
If the economy is properly managed in such a way that our currency is stable, definitely it will bring about, if not decrease, at least stability in the cost of foodstuff in the market.
Instead of subsidizing petroleum, which you know does not address the need of the common man, agriculture houses over 70% of our population today. So if you can subsidize agricultural activities, you would have been able to rescue poverty in Nigeria.
If they open border, more food will come in.
In fact, the price of these are like times 10 of what we usually get
Yes, because everything now is times 10. It has increased, so we are just managing. Everybody's managing.
Government officials are quick to allay the fear of hunger among the people. They say maize is becoming available in abundance, and fresh potatoes and yams are now being harvested. But these are palliatives. The problem goes deeper. Nigeria's food security outlook, as reported by the Famine Early Warning System Network, should not therefore be a crisis foretold, but allowed to come to pass. The report should be a wake-up call for all tiers of government to stave off a situation that could create greater challenges before it becomes late. Now, talking about an unraveling crisis-prone Nigeria, this Sunday we bring back the memories of a man who had warned that things could fall apart for Nigeria unless. This is bringing back the memories of Yinka Odumaki, activist, nationalist, consummate Democrat. He believed in a fair and equitable Nigeria, which he expressed profoundly in his last interview with Signature Show. Please stay with us.
This is signature.tv.org. Breaking the news. Following the news. Analyzing the news. 247 round the clock. All on the go. signature.tv.org. News in your pocket.
There's no way you want to tell me that it's only a section of the country should hold on to power in perpetuity. I know. I listen to my very good compatriots, and the man I respect so much, Mr. John Odo, President of Anese, said a few days ago that as Nigeria is, South is not even interested in the presidency. What Southeast wants is a restructured Nigeria. When I heard him to say that, I remembered what happened in the First Republic. When Ahmadu Bello considered his infradig beneath him to be Prime Minister of Nigeria, he chose to be Premier of Northern Region because the powers were in the regions at that time. But see, where we are today, where we have taken all the powers to Abuja, where Abuja is now the Alpha and Omega. Once you obtain that, you cannot say that a section of the country should hold on to power indefinitely. And you have seen what you have done in the power in the last 4 years, to the exclusion of others, to a situation where the whole commanding heights of the economy, the security system, you are put in the hand of a section of the country. For the first time in the history of this country, we are having the head of the executive, the head of the legislature, the head of the judiciary from the core north of Nigeria. It's not happening in the history of this country before.
Let me take you on the matter of restructuring.
Yes.
I want to recall that in 2014-2015, when APC as a party was being put together,
yes,
one of the items the Southwest brought to the table was that Nigeria will be restructured.
Yes.
And APC as a party made that promise. I know that APC has also set up a committee on restructuring Nigeria. I do not know the outcome of that committee. Now, if any interest group in APC begins to renege on some of the items, some of the conditions that led to the formation of the party ab initio, what do you think is likely to be the fate of the party in 2023?
Well, restructuring was not just the Southwest agenda. It was an agenda of the South, the entire South and Middle Belts of Nigeria. Southeast, Southwest, South, they were all key on restructuring. And when APC came in 2014, they did what is known as Takia. Takia is one concept that means that deception is a tool of power. That when you deceive unbelievers, no sin has been committed before Allah. That's what all the APC did in 2014 by inserting their manifesto to restructure Nigeria back to a true federation. They did what was called obtaining by false pretense. A lot of people bought into APC on the basis of that grand deception. But when they won the election, they came to power. Oh, they said they don't know what restructuring means. Oh, they said they've spoken to 1 million Nigerians and they got 1,000,001 definition of restructuring. Therefore, they don't know what it means. Oh, the president said at the 2014 national conference, in fact, that money spent on that conference should have been used to pay ASU who are on strike. As if today, we are using that money now to pay minimum wage. When the pressure kept on and on and on, they sort of the Restructuring committee. Every committee went around Nigeria. They came back, photocopy a few pages from 2014 National Conference report. To date, nothing's been heard about it. Only yesterday, we had a delegate to that conference from the north, Dr. Junaid Mohammed. 2 days before, first said, "Oh, 2014 National Conference, we cannot accept the reports because Jonathan and some people smuggled into the report things that we never discussed at this conference." And I said to Junaid Mohammed, "Doctor, can you hold your Quran and look at Allah and say what you are saying is the truth?" Because we were at that conference for 3 months. When we sit in a day, the following day when we come, before we start any business for the day, we have what we call votes and proceedings for the previous day. It was live on television where we discuss what was the reports. We will adopt it. Once adopted, then we start business of the day. That's what was done every day. The Hansards of those days, they are all available. For a second republic member of House of Reps, someone that should be a statesman in his rights, to not begin to lie to us about what happened in 2014, then you are baffled and amazed about the level of perfidy in some of our compatriots. If you can learn about what's available on videos are still available, Hansard are available, 2014. So when they begin to talk about 1960, 1950, what are they telling? What are they saying? So, and only today they came out and say, well, that report of 2014 National Conference, if any president come up to power from the South and want to implement it, the North will remove him. That's treasonable. You are charging Sowore for treason. What can more treasonable for somebody to say that a section of the country can remove the president of Nigeria unconstitutionally? Then, if you are saying that if you start try to do what will benefit the country, what are we telling the South and the Middle Belt to do? That you are using power for what benefit only a section of the country and not the rest of us? Are we back to Araba? In 1967, 1966, there was a coup in Nigeria in January. By July, there was a revenge coup. And they titled the coup, Araba, let's divide it. Are you telling us again to divide Nigeria? If you are saying because we are North, you remove anybody that tries to do something that will benefit the whole country. So why must we continue to subject ourselves to you who are using the power to oppress the rest of the country?
Now, Yinka, there is another strand to this conversation.
Yes.
There are some people who have said that there should be no election at all in 2023 because the present constitution, which was first drafted in 1979 and then 1999 amended, but with same character and principle, is a fraud built in to create a domination. And unless that constitution is made a people's constitution, fair, just, and equitable, it is not necessary to conduct any election because the president who will still implement that constitution will implementing that fraud. Why do you stand on this?
Well, I think I've also come to the conclusion that 1,000 elections under this constitution will change nothing. We always continue to take us backward. And when you talk about even 1979 and 1999, there's some difference. The 1979 constitution, there was the constitutional drafting committee. There was the wise men put together. I will refuse to participate in that committee, but they still went around to do something. The 1999 constitution is a complete fraud different from that. It lies when it says we the people of Nigeria. On the floor of 2014 National Conference, I challenged Professor Yadudu, Awo Yadudu, to say, Professor Yadudu, you and your friends, this is what are given to us that's put on this problem. Because that constitution was made by Yadudu and his friend for Sani Abacha. Abacha kept it under his pillow. Nobody saw it until he died. It was when he died that Absalami went to pick it under his pillow, gave it to Nikitobi. Nikitobi went around for a few days. They produced a constitution in a hurry that, as at the time Obasanjo was sworn in 1999, there was no clear copy of that constitution. It was still at Heritage Press in Abuja. Nobody saw the constitution. To date, most Nigerians are not aware of the content of the constitution. You know, until last presidential panel rule, yes, many people are under the wrong impression that constitution even gives a standard for anybody who wants to be president or governor of Nigeria. Maybe I thought that, by the section 318, says that, to be governor to president, you must have school start or school equivalence. So people thought that some requirements was prescribed to president of Nigeria. But no, not many people have gone to read the interpretation clause, where their concern was talking about the equivalent of school starts. It started by saying the equivalent of school starts that you have gone to secondary school. You don't even need to write exams.
You don't even need to write exams.
It's equivalence. That's primary 6 and 10 years working experience public service is equivalent to school starts. That any certificate you present to the certification of INEC is equivalent to school starts. And when they're on a very ridiculous note, ability to speak and understand English is equivalent to school starts. So if you go to INEC and say come, and you move towards the person, go, and you can go. Said, write, go, you write it. It's equivalent to school starts. Presidents. That's the question they give to us to govern in this country, to give leadership. So that question today has made leadership in Nigeria the only job that you don't need any qualification. So that constitution is not our constitution. It's an autochthonous. It's not autochthonous. It's an imposition. It's the Decree 24 of 1999 promulgated by Absalami, and it cannot be a basis to govern a modern society. It is backward. It's archaic, and it's a fraud. And to now continue to think that we can reorganize our lives based on a fraud, it's not possible. So I am totally with those who say that perhaps we have had the last election under this constitution. Any election under this constitution will not produce productive for anything good for this country.
But Yinka, do you think the National Assembly, as constituted, can amend that constitution and make it the people's document?
It's not possible. We have a rubber stamp in place. I saw one professor on television 2 days ago saying, the 8th Senate was also against corruption. Now we have Senates that's very compliant, because now you have a rubber stamp. So National Assembly, they cannot touch a word in this constitution. A typographical error they cannot remove.
Yinka, what's the way forward?
The way forward is clear. At this point, the people of Nigeria must be ready to take back their nations. Where are we today? We are in this situation today that the indices are frightening. On every index, today we are worse off in 2018 to where we were in 2014. 2020 budget has been presented. We are going to be spending a quarter of our budget to service debt. Not repaying debt, service.
The principle still remains.
It still remains. When they move overhead, they move everything. There's nothing for the people. The money voted for the Ministry of Works cannot finish Lagos by an expressway. Now, there are so many other frightening diseases. Today, do you know that 60 million Nigerians are unbanked? They have no business in banks. Out of those 60 million, there are millions of them that in a whole month, they don't touch money. 1 naira, 5 naira, they don't touch. Among those who are banked, 98% of those who are banked in Nigeria today don't have 500,000 naira in their accounts. 98%. Only 2% are 500,000 and above. 60% of Nigerians across the country are spending 80 to 90% of their income to eat food. And when you go to the northeast, they are spending 121% of their income to buy food. So you cannot be surprised why place to insurgency banditry, because over 100% of their resources they are using to eat food. Now, if at the top, go to our stock exchange today, the biggest company on the Nigerian stock exchange, the Dangote Group. What is Dangote producing? Sugar, salt, spaghetti. He said next year is going to start a refinery. That refinery is not going to do 3D petroleum or artificial intelligence petroleum. It's going to do ordinary petroleum that Rockefeller were doing 100 years ago. That's our richest man. So now, in the whole of Nigeria today, there are 12,300 millionaires in dollars. And I'm sure out of 12,300, by the time you take the senators, reps, ministers, governors, their hangers on, you have a few left who are into productive capacity. In fact, in the city where I live, I heard about 2 years ago, one of the biggest names in industries ran into a problem. You know, bail him out. A politician who has no industry had to go bail him out, and that's what's happening in Nigeria. Now, go to India, that has just overtaken Nigeria in poverty index. In Mumbai, just one city in India, there are 60,000 millionaires in dollars. Most of them are into industries, into businesses, creating opportunities, creating jobs, employing people. What's happening in Nigeria? Why the people are employing people? And that's why we're thinking that until we go back to productivity under federalism, when we say restructuring, we are saying go back to federalism. Let's go back to productivity. Let every section of Nigeria become productive. The gold in Zamfara, let bandits stop mining it. Let our state government mine that gold, create wealth, pay tax to the federal government. Federal government cannot sit in Abuja and begin to just collect oil receipts. VAT, sit on it, saying we are giving bail out to the state. And based on what? What are you producing in Abuja? Pure water you are not doing in Abuja. All the indices that are for production, you take the indices to federal allocation account committee every end of the month. You say you want to share money. It's a population. What do you use to go and share money? Population. Population means that the more people you have, the more productive workforce you should have. You should train them, equip them. No, our population will lead them as Almajiris, Boko Haram, unemployed people. End of the month to come to Abuja, I can't.
And based on that number,
we now use the number to share us more money. In China today, they have the biggest population in the world. Where do we go?
Using the population.
Where do you go to in the world as you don't see Chinese using their skills to make money to go back to their country? Our own useless, unproductive citizens. We use them to go and share money. Land is a part of production. The land in Niger State is bigger than the whole of Southeast. What is Nigeria generating from Niger State? Niger is bigger than Netherlands as a country. Netherlands is the 4th largest exporter of agri in the whole world. What are we exporting from Niger State? End of the month, come to Abuja, you have bigger land mass. Give us more money based on the land. How do you want to do it up? Where are you going with that? I would say, let us restructure. In fact, 2014 Niger conference was so generous. For the next 10 years, let's still be sharing money. But let's use 5% of federal government resources money to go and dig up the resources in all the states in Nigeria. And there is no state in Nigeria that don't have it. There are more solid minerals in the north than in all of the south. But because some people are benefit from iniquity, living on wealth they don't earn, they want us to continue on the basis of this sharing money that has brought us to where we are. Nigeria today, the engine has knocked. We are so indebted. We are spending all our borrowing money. All the money we have borrowed in the last 4 years that we are now using 25% of our budget to service debt. What have you done? What 1, 2, 3 projects have been completed without indebtedness? You want us to go in that way? It's not possible.
With all these cracks around, what does the politician need to do to convince his fellow politicians to say, look, there's need to adjust the tactics, there's need to show more understanding, there's need to look at this nation with a different perspective, different from what do I get from sharing?
Well, clearly that's why we say that it's not that we don't want Aburi. We don't want Araba. Those who want Araba are those who say that we should not reset, we should not restructure, we should not go back to federalism. We are for Aburi. Let's go to Aburi. Aburi is about, let's create a new country. Let's revisit the fundamentals. Let's make Nigeria a proper, functional, productive country where every section of Nigeria will contribute to its progress and we will live in prosperity and happiness and brotherhood and stop all this fighting going on. Bandits are taking over the whole country now. Governors are holding meetings with bandits. Bandits will carry guns and guns will stand and say they're negotiating. It's a failed state. So we need to go to Aburi. In the last few days, some of those in the church have been talking. I heard last time the Okorocha say that, look, at this stage where we are now, we need only 1 senator per state, 3 reps. I heard Fayemi saying that let's abolish the Senate. People are coming with ideas. But honestly, if you go back to the price of federalism today and become a productive nation and we allow every section of Nigeria to develop their pace, to go under their resources, honestly, even all these senators, reps, and them, we can still accommodate them. Nigeria can still afford them. But if you continue what you are doing, I'm afraid we are causing disaster. And there have been countries that operated what Nigeria is operating, even when they are better managed, who have disappeared today. Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, they've all disappeared from world map. We don't want Nigeria to disappear. This is a great country, beautiful people, different cultures, but Nigeria must be organized on the basis of salad bowl. When you take a bowl of salad, there are 3 different ingredients: lettuce, tomato, egg, but it's the combination of these different ingredients that make up salad, the taste of salad, the delicious salad. Then just be salad bowl. We cannot continue to be this kono plates. You want to meet us that everybody kono? No, cannot work. And that's why we are still pleading, and that's why we are telling the political forces to understand that going to Aburi is the only way to expand the lifespan of Nigeria, to keep this country together, to avoid Araba, which those who are saying don't restructure, they are asking for.
Well, Inga, maybe my last question.
Yes.
What of those that are faces emerging that they want to contest for the presidency? There are old parties that are being given new strength. Let me be more specific. PRP is being given a new lease of life.
Yeah.
It's now being joined by former INEC chairman, Dahiru Jega. I hope I'm correct. Then the governor of Kaduna State, his posters are all over the place. At least they're angling for something. What should they be bringing to the table to help Nigeria survive?
Well, anybody today that's just talking about, we want to take over power again, we want to continue what we are doing, they are pursuing disintegration of Nigeria. What we need to do at this stage is to reset Nigeria. When you have a phone that has serious complications and Nigeria cannot fix it, the first thing they will do is to go back to default, factory setting. Anybody that's not addressing that, in 2014, after we finished the national conference under Jonathan, Pastor Tunde Bakare said, don't go for elections. Let's take 1 or 2 years to implement these reports. After implementing these reports, the incumbent president will no longer contest elections. Let's start afresh. Oh, they said was asking for total for Jonathan. Here we are today. Everything has gone from bad to worse. The first task for this country is to reset, to retool, to reorganize, to go back to federalism. after that, people can pursue their aspirations. But to put ambition before, well, the PRP as I talk about, we have had talks about the fact that they will collapse APC. PRP is a plan B, all kind of thing. They are taking us nowhere. What they are doing now is not sustainable. They are bringing out all kind of taxes now, taxing poverty. Anywhere in the world, you tax prosperity. You allow your citizens to create prosperity, then you tax them. But this one, you are sinking your citizens to poverty. We are now the global sector to poverty. Up till now, the president was talking of cost of governance before 2014 elections. Since 2014 up till now, he has not proposed just one bill to reduce the cost of governance or to reduce the salary of those in government. All they are doing is creating more ministries. If we don't retool, Nigeria will disintegrate.
Well, that's our package for this Sunday. Please remain with us as we bring you our corruption story, which focuses on Nigeria's affidavit racket. Buy yourself a husband with affidavits. Let's meet again next week. My name remains Kumabweze Njoko. Good afternoon.
Welcome, my people. Thank you as now join us again for another corruption story program where they join hand and body with government and other stakeholders for inside the fight against corruption matter to come out them before it come out us. When I feel my rhymes. Anyway, my people, last Sunday we carry very interesting story come of Winston Chuks Obikwelu, lawyer we based for Abuja, where one fake husband of his wife thief him identity, come travel with him wife and children, go Venezuela for where the wife come go die. This fake husband wey thief Mr. Winston identity, in your name na Emmanuel Iladion. He be dey sell engine oil for roadside before. All he gats to do na to thief Mr. Winston identity. Na to just swear affidavit for court to say his name na Winston Chuks Obikwelu. Finish. Now he collect foreign affairs staff as him wife, and with that affidavit he fit get passport wey carry him to Venezuela with the wife of the man wey in identity he go thief am. He enjoy all this jollification sotey before bubble can go burst. My people, wetin we dey wonder now na how Emmanuel take get this affidavit wey put legal stamp for the mago wey him go do. Corruption tori undercover reporter. It taking time to do investigate on top this affidavit racket where they go about, where they don't they get as e be, where you don't they reach to fetch person foreign affairs wife and foreign posting. Abeg, tanda with us. We been start this investigation with correct question give we lawyer on top the matter of how to get affidavit for the correct legal way. We still be want know how it dey be for the case of documents we lost and wetin police get to do for the matter.
If you enter court, you go for the side where they call the process unit. Go meet people when they call commissioner for oath. Now commissioner for oath now be person officer of court where they administer affidavit. Now make any affidavit paper where you see, you go see say after all those matter where they talk there, you go say before me commissioner for oath to show say all these things where you talk, you will be deponent. Now before him you put your hand joy. For Abuja here and most other places in Nigeria, you are expected to pay a particular amount to get affidavit, 500 naira If you go to process unit where I talked before for any court, enter there, they go direct you go where you go suppose pay the money 500 naira, and then you collect your receipt. They go direct you go meet for the commissioner for oath their side. The person where in name wey we dey call deponent wey go dey the affidavit, in picture suppose dey there, wey be say me wey dey talk this na my picture be this. So for the court there, you go tell them, as you dey tell them wetin you want, that's so dem go dey type am. When they type am finish, dem go give you. You go now go there, the commissioner for oath wey we don talk go dey there. You go show and say you don pay the 500 naira. Even though these days you get one other fee wey dem dey call stamp for court, that is court seal. That one too na 200 naira. So if you join am na 700 total. Nothing more, no other money wey you dey spend for the matter be that.
This one mean say police report suppose dey to guarantee say na true when any complainant show come talk say im document lost in any kind of way. But how dem dey take collect this one from police? For this matter, we yarn divisional police officer for Wuse Police Division for Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
You have to come with the relevant photocopies or document that you have in which you are presenting to show proof, say the original ones got stolen, burned or destroyed. And if the incident was not reported, you must try your possible effort to convince the police that the incident took place, but for so reason and so reason you couldn't make the first complaint. And police has to visit that scene or that place and make proper findings to enable them decide.
According by this one now, it means say position of lawyer and DPO now suppose be the process. But corruption tori investigation wey we do for Federal High Court for Maitama, Abuja, it shows say no be so e dey be o. The steps wey lawyer and DPO list for us no be wetin happen for this affidavit racket. Na forget na security man first of all hold we reporter, and we reporter kuku pretend like say he no sabi how dem dey get this affidavit at all. The security man come tell am say e better make he, the security help am get this affidavit. If not, to get the document e go take time well.
Who want to do it? What want to do? Declaration? No, for certificate. My certificate got stolen. Lost? Since when? Have you done police extract? No, I was coming to Abuja last 3 weeks, so we were laid on the road by armed robbers. All of us ran away. Before we came out in the bush in the morning, we found out some of our properties have been taken away. Inside there was my credentials and some of the photocopies because someone promised me a job actually in FIRS. So he said I should come, that the work is almost getting ready. As I was coming. Then you know what you do? You have to do police extract. Have to do police extract to claim that your result got lost. You understand? The so date that what exactly happened. Police have to take down your information. To do police extract. You can do it any of the police station. That one doesn't mean you can have the affidavit here. Then that will be the one for them to believe it. Yes, this thing you are saying is very true. Okay. That's just one. The one I'm trying to say, every day they do issue number at the gate entrance. If you don't have number, they will not attend to you. Those who have number, they are still waiting for them to come and call them. Okay. So that's that. So if you don't have number, they would like to subcharge you, of which you have to pay and get what you want. But if you don't want to pay, you say you are coming back tomorrow, you come very early, either 6, 7, 8. You meet the available number that will access you inside. Like as it stands now, let me be truthful to you, I don't really have time. If there's anyone I can just come there, but we do consider you don't know how somebody get to this place before telling him you are paying. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if you tell somebody say you should pay like this, so without explaining it to the person, it look somehow. Hope you understand. So that's just the issue. But if there's another way, you can do it. Okay, sir. There are ways you can do it. You call the staff to come and pick you and help you do it. Okay, so that the settlement will be between you and the person.
So like what will be the cost implication?
No, the implication, normally they do charge from 2,000 upwards to help the person. Because one, the commissioner wrote, we have to sign with the seat for 500. This signature from that one day, the payment for the slip. So these are the costs. Then as a young man like me, that's why I explained to you. Every kind of test to come and pick you.
As them settle on the money wey them go pay oga security for him affidavit producing services, the security come gist our reporter say to get police extract get easy way too. Na so he carry with reporter go one policeman for another round of pricing.
We are going to police station. This police are put here to do the extract. And I'm just telling you they are separate. You know, here they do charge. Then you go to outside police station. It will be lesser. But whoever they tell you, tell them that you are only having 2,000 and you don't have anything because they will collect. Make it.
Is the one with you? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry, sir. Okay, sir. I want to do police extract.
What did you lose?
Okay, my HND certificate from my wallet.
Okay, HND certificate. I lost. I'll do it for you. It's only 3,000. What you do, you go and meet him again. You say when I do it, you go and meet him.
Without any kind report of wetin loss and how e take loss for any kind police station, we reporter no even took leg enter the police station for the Maitama court compound there to report how the thing take happen. But oga police come back with correct police extract wey talk the lie tori wey we undercover reporter give am.
Alright, thank you, sir.
Alright. How much did they talk?
He said 2,000, I gave him 2,000.
I did not tell you I said great. You go collect. That's a higher bet. If now how this this one and high court, you know all these police station now, as in you go my town or any of the police station, how you got the collect now 1,000, 1,500. Let us so that use your face see the place. Thank you.
Time come reach to waka go the admin block for where according by we lawyer, person suppose meet officer of law if he wan collect affidavit.
I'm not arriving for the bank.
Oscoff, nothing like that happen. Oga security just tell we reporter say make he wait small after he don give the police extract to somebody inside the office. Bakam, e never too tey wey one court official come outside, call the name of the reporter, give am affidavit. The end.
Is a corruption theory.
So you still dey wonder how Emmanuel Iladio suddenly turned to Winston Chuks Obikwelu? You still dey think how Emmanuela, the wife, suddenly change husband to another person, like person wey dey change wig for head? come get passport wey carry fake husband and 4 children travel go Venezuela. My people, as e dey like this, if you want husband or wife, or maybe say you wan die on paper even as you dey alive so, or you wan turn to papa or mama of another person pikin, or maybe you sef wan turn to pikin of another person parent, just go patronize the affidavit racket. Only say if dem catch you, na only you go fit to explain how you take enter security operatives hand, just the way Emmanuel Ilajo don enter so. We dey wait for im day for court when we go fit to see am. My people, one word e don reach to make the wise person hear word.
EFCC don arrest 31 Yahoo boys on Thursday inside Owerri, Imo State. Wilson Owajaren, talk man for EFCC, na him yarn this one so. Wilson also say EFCC catch 10 other Yahoo boys for inside Kubwa, Dawaki axis for Abuja. EFCC come talk say they collect 4 motor with their registration number inside and plenty phone with laptop from the Yahoo boys them. The commission say they go carry the boys go court quick.
Yes, a corruption theory.
Kaduna State High Court don't carry better punishment knack one man wey name Bigambo Suleiman, wey use mago collect money from one Fauziza Tanko wey him promise job for National Board of Arabic and Islamic Studies for Kaduna. Na EFCC for Kaduna carry Suleiman go court on Wednesday so. EFCC talk say Suleiman wey be WAEC supervisor, him collect 85,000 naira from Tanko and him no come give am the job wey him promise.
Yes, a corruption theory.
Till we carry come again next week Sunday for another story on top the correct program Corruption Story. Abeg make una dey jeje o. My name na Ufoma Egoriase. Una bye bye yo.